Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Well, there's not a lot of news going on today, and probably won't be posting so many videos today because there's very little news going on. But that's okay because I can do a my realities video and maybe do a pop culture thing as well because that seems to be a little bit important here. This will be a little bit of a call pop culture, but it's all right. I do know that there is more docs being dropped for the Twitter, so I'll be going over that either most likely tomorrow because I like to wait to see exactly what's going on in terms of all the files and stuff. So normally what will happen is that they'll be dropped. I'll wait till tomorrow to get all of them, and then after I see them, we'll go over it. I may even stream it possibly, but most likely I'll just do a video. But yeah, this is my part of my realities. Now, a lot of you are probably going to find this offensive. A lot of you are probably may even subscribe, as some of you may even find it grotesque. But this is my reality, and this channel is meant for people understanding the truth, trying to understand what the dangers are, and trying to be able to see other people's opinions without going completely absolutely insane. So if people don't like these opinions, if the people don't like these ideas, then they can leave. Honestly, because my channel is going to be fostered upon people that can understand realities, understand people's opinions, and try to see everybody's point of view, regardless of that situation. So, this is where it comes in. In the past or so, I say 60 plus years, we have seen the decline of Western civilization. Probably even a little bit longer than that, honestly. I would say mostly in the 1970s. We have full black people. We have full women. We are full men. In today's society, we try to ruin everything in light of progressiveness. Why is it that in such a short amount of time has our society become pretty much the immense collapse that it is? How do we move away from this collapse, and how do we progress into something that is not terrible? You'll have progressives and far leftists say that we need to start caring for black people more. We need to essentially have reparations for black people. We need to, in order to progress, we need to make sure that children are taught about sex at a very, very young age for some god apparent reason, and that it's okay to teach them about certain parts of their body or whatever at a very young age as well, regardless of the negative consequences that it may pertain to. We won't say that it's grooming, but we'll say it's okay. Progressives will also say that there is any gender and it's okay to have a kid regardless of age, pretty much transition into pretty much anything and allow it to happen. This is what the progressives think. And I want to say, how is that really progressive in any way? Explain to me on how you progress, how you move up in the world when you do this. Tell me how is it that you progress when you have pretty much, I would say, biological men enter a woman's field of expertise, such as like sports, and then potentially have most of the majority of the women leave the sport or get kicked out of the sport because they can't compete against the actual men that are there. This is progressive to you. This is making the world a better place. We have a man that is called by Justin Trudeau, Prime Minister Trudeau, that has done assisted suicides, that has a program that will have that happen, and even reports saying that you would save people about save the government, the Canadian government, $136 million a year with the assisted suicide in place. Pretty much saying to kill people. This is progressive to you. This is making things better. How do we end up being like this as a civilization, as a country, while many other organizations, as bad as they are, don't get me wrong, such as Russia and China, how are we progressing when they're laughing at us or allowing people to post pretty much crimes on TikTok, pretty much how children die and due to this? TikTok has caused more harm to people than I think almost any other social media besides maybe Facebook or Twitter, to the point to where it's where child pornography is practically born on these platforms, but nothing's done about it. Until recently, where Elon Musk is coming to step in. We have come to this actual reality that think this is all progressive. But let me tell you one thing. I don't think it is. I think it's a progression to decline. I think it's a progression to the collapse of society. I think it is a progression of the ultimate death and destruction of all of humanity that we see. I think that's what the progression is. Maybe that's what that really means when they call themselves progressive. Because, yeah, they are progressing. They're progressing in the wrong ways. To the destruction of everything. And let me put this in a way some people understand. We have 50 or 60 years of this total absolute destruction. It took this long for exactly how long did this happen? How did this end up coming to be? Well, let's take 60 years. 60 plus or so years ago, give or take, was the rise of the sexual revolution. That alone has caused complete destruction and mayhem of our country. Mostly due to the fact that women were allowed to have freedom and do whatever the hell they want. Women were allowed to do what they thought was right, and now our society is collapsing. Before this, yeah, we lived in dark times, yeah, we were in rough times, but we were advancing, right? We were moving along. Now, I can't say that we're progressing at all in terms of technology because it seems like we almost come to a standstill. It seems like we're reversing back in reality than not. One day I will be going over the fall of Rome with you guys because I think that may be a quite interesting way on why our society is falling apart. Now, I will say that women may be the cause of our great downfall. Why is this? Because women, about 55 to plus 60% of women as current today vote for Democratic policies, which we just found out that majority of the Democratic policies are what's destructing of this country, or most of Western civilization in general. So when we come here and we want to talk about exactly what the fault is, can we really blame women? Maybe not, maybe so. I say we're damn near close to blaming it. Here's the reason why. We have women that wanted and allowed the trans community to infiltrate their sports and say it's okay and used emotion to dictate on what they thought was right, and now they're losing their sports. We have the majority of women in communications, or rather anything in high place of power that has anything to do with socializing with people, and that is on the complete decline. Now tell me, how can you say that when we have majority of the women that are voting Democratic, and then we have majority of them in these social atmospheres that are mostly in government and or any high position of political power that has anything to do with talking to socializing, which is what women do, they like to socialize. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. But when we have this type of reality to where majority of them vote Democrat, and then we see the decline, I don't see where we would go from here. Here's a small clip of this actually happening, to where there is a woman in this political field, and to see what they're doing to our children and what she speaks of. Take a look real quick.
To order people to be vaccinated or to be tested and make them lose their job as a result of these.
Okay, that's your 3 minutes.
I'm very aware it was my 3 minutes, and I don't think any parent behind me will be upset if I finish. Thank you.
Sir, we have rules and regulations and systems that we need to follow.
Fine.
Okay?
I have 3 minutes that was yielded to me.
Here we go. Here's the board. There's a penis, there's a man, and there's a woman. These are third graders. The lesson plan says Hey, Jamal, go up to the board and point to the penis. Hey, Annie, can you go over and point to the vagina? Can you point to the clitoris? This is third grade level of what you want. I'm telling.
There you have it. There you have it. The one that is in political power, the one that is in power currently at the moment right now, is that one woman that is obviously speaking about this. Now, obviously, the one woman that I would see there may not have been Democrat in terms of the mother, because she obviously does not seem to be valuing those type of values. I don't know whether she's Democrat or not, but she seems to have some type of moral compass to where it's wrong to have for their children be taught in this type of manner. And I'm not saying that if you vote Democrat or vote Republican that you're an evil and terrible person. What I am saying is that we have people that constantly want to ignore family values, constantly want to ignore anything else, and women are at the foothold of this because they govern exactly on what happens. When women have the ability to control the power of, obviously sex, they also get to govern anything that happens. They set the rules that men had to abide by, and men by the relationships that all happens to be, what is required of them. Women were taught a lie. They were shown a lie. Women were told that it's okay to have their body count rise up and not have face consequences. To honestly be able to go after their career and waste all their youth and their reproductive ability that will essentially ruin their lives. Do things that are going against them. And women are told this lie. Women are catered down to more of a societal pressure than men do by a great margin. And I think that this is a problem. I think the only way that we can possibly save this country is to go after the young women. Specifically, what I mean by go after is to teach and try to change their culture in the type of reality to where young women are taught differently. Because right now, we are destroying the young women. We are ruining their lives. People want to call me a misogynist or whatever, but so be it, right? Because at this point, the only way you can possibly get this out of the way is by dealing the fatal blow that is this. Women are the majority voting Democrat. Men are not usually voting Democrat. We need to go after the female voter, and we need to educate the young women on how their values and how some of the issues that is going to cause them harm in the long run. Some of them are so ignorant that they won't want to see it because they don't want to see that their life that they have done for multiple years of their lives has been ruined by our so-called government that does not care about a damn about our lives or care about anything about the females' lives in particular. If anything, it is the government that are the true misogynists because as you see the way the women are treated in today's society, it is not the same. They're after all of us. The only thing that we see is that the government will cater to women more than they do men because men are considered left. They're considered trash in their eyes. But the women are going to suffer too, and they're already suffering. By 2030, we already might see a severe damage and destruction of the females because of the amount of damage that the government has done. How do we fix this issue? We need to go out there and try to change minds. We need to go out there and try to change the female minds. Because the only other way we can get ourselves out of this rut is to educate them. Now, I know that one video there is obviously not showing showing two different parallels in two different worlds. One woman fighting for a child's rights, which we may think that she may be a particular, may be Republican, but we don't know. I don't care that she is. Right now, she's trying to protect her children and other children around her. That's the important thing. She's doing at least some type of the nurturing part in this. The other woman is on the other side of the aisle, where she's not doing the nurturing, where she is actively going against the children, harming children, damaging children. And she isn't the one that's in political power. What makes you think that we can stop this when you have a majority of the modern women doing this? This is the reality that we face. Men are at fault too because they allowed to put in laws to make all this stuff happen. Men put in the laws, women just follow suit. We're both at fault. But men are waking up. Part women. That's it for the video, guys. See you guys in the next one. Take care.